Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Susan's just making it. As you can tell from the title in today's video, I'm going to be discussing a difficult topic, and I really battled with myself today about getting in front of the camera to do this, but I figured I would bite the bullet and do it anyway. I have a couple people that have been supporting me on my YouTube journey, and they feel that the people out there that watch my videos might appreciate me being honest about some topics that people don't like to talk about. So if you get anything out of my video today, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up and any support that you're willing to give. And I did a couple videos recently, and I mentioned that I had been off YouTube for a couple weeks. I really wasn't up to recording anything because I've been suffering from depression quite a bit lately. And it's difficult to get in front of a camera and try to be cheerful or to think up content to share when you just really don't have any motivation. So I have been just trying to keep it together lately, and I'm not entirely sure whether I'm gonna continue with YouTube at this point, because I really struggle to come up with content. Part of it is I don't feel like my life is really that interesting or exciting, so it's difficult to come up with things to share that I think people will get anything out of. But like I said in my introduction, that I don't want to come on here and pretend to be somebody I'm not. And I did mention in my introduction that I do suffer from a mental illness and a mood disorder. And I've battled depression for a lot of years. And sometimes it's not as bad as others. There have been times in my life that I've been able to function pretty good. And it's a minor thing that just rears its head from time to time. And then there's other times when I'm under a lot of stress or dealing with a lot of things that it's more frequent and lasts longer. Like I said, I really didn't want to do this video because I don't want this to be the image that I leave people with, but I think it needs to be discussed because there are so many topics out there that people just shy away from because it's uncomfortable and things like that. But just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean that it's okay to keep skirting certain things. People that suffer from depression will probably understand and be able to relate to a lot of what I talk about, and those that don't, I'm really glad that you don't, because it's not a very pleasant way to live. Everybody has bad days. Everybody gets sad. Depression is something totally different, and like I said, unless you deal with it, I don't think you entirely understand it. You know, I get very upset when I'm having a depressive episode and people come along and ask me, oh, what do you have to be depressed about? Well, probably the prison cell that I'm going to spend the rest of my life in if you keep saying stupid shit, you know. I don't think it's fair to make a judgment. What do you have to be upset about? What do you have to be depressed about? You don't know what life everyone else is living, so you really can't say that. But it's hard for me to live with depression because I find that when I start getting depressed, I isolate a lot, and a lot of it's because a lot of people don't like to be around other people when they're depressed. And I think to myself, sometimes it's like, I don't think anyone else wants to be around me because I don't even want to be around myself sometimes. You know, it's pretty bad when you can barely stand yourself. And that's a lot of what it's like. And I work very hard at not getting, letting myself wallow in it too much, because I think the deeper into it you get, the harder it is to pull yourself out of it. And I try to do a lot of self-talk to slip any further than I have to. But when you're really depressed, it's hard to do that. It's hard to see the positive when you're in the middle of depression because everything looks terrible. Okay, and I will say that I do have a lot to be grateful for. I had 3 children that have always been healthy for the most part. My youngest son, we did have a few scares with through the years, but I had, you know, healthy, intelligent children. I'm not on the street. I don't have a drug addiction. My children don't. I haven't been locked up. My kids haven't. There are people out there that struggle with far worse issues than I've had to, and I do have people that care about me and things like that. But at the same time, you know, all of us suffer with our own things. It's hard for me to ask for help, which I understand is a form of self-sabotage, but it's hard to ask for help when I'm used to being the person that has to be there for everyone, and I'm very prideful, which is not always a good thing when you need to ask for help or when you're suffering and need to reach out. But I do have pride, so it's hard for me to ask for help, and I don't like when I feel like someone's having pity on me. And so a lot of times I was told, someone told me once, you have so much pride that you'd rather suffer. And it's pretty accurate. So like I said, it was very difficult to come on here and talk about this, but at the same time, like I said, you know, my one sister was like, you need to get on there and talk about the things that nobody wants to talk about. And I don't know, it's just, it seems like a lot of the things that I usually do to cope have not been going in my favor lately. Like my channel, Susan's Just Making It, and part of my channel is about like the things that I like to create and make and craft and things like that. And a lot of times when I'm slipping into a bad spot, I try to make something, and because I feel like if I'm working on a project, I'm distracted from a lot of the other things that are bothering me, because I'm so focused on what I'm doing that other stuff goes to the back of my mind. The last few days I've attempted a few crafting projects and they went south really quick, so there's a level of frustration when you're trying to work on something to keep your mind off things and things are definitely not working out as planned. And like I mentioned in my video, oh, they're not mistakes, they're creative opportunities. I'm not talking about mistakes, I'm talking about epic fails, where I get to the point of so frustrated that the project just goes in the garbage because I'm like, I just can't even save this and don't have the energy to try. And this has happened like 2 or 3 days in a row. So today I woke up and it's like, I really want to be productive, but I don't know if I dare to touch anything, because everything I've touched the last few days is, you know, basically turned to shit. So we're not even going to try at this point. And it doesn't help that I mean, maybe it's just too much personal information thrown out there and maybe nobody's even interested in knowing, but I have been trying to get some disability assistance because of my mental health has been in a bad place the last couple years. And like I said, I can go years and it's not much of an issue, but lately it's been, the last couple of years I've been struggling a lot. And I have a problem with arthritis in both of my knees, because I've always worked in food service and customer service jobs where I've been on my feet all day and running and just always active and on my feet, and it has caused the cushioning in my knees to basically deteriorate to nothing. And I went to a doctor a couple years ago and they said that it wasn't that bad, that to just do physical therapy, and that surgery wasn't even a consideration because it wasn't that bad, and that I would have to lose at least 60 pounds before they would consider surgery. So I did go to physical therapy a couple times, but it's very difficult for me to, you know, schedule that into my routine. So I kind of went about my business, and I went to so I was talking to my primary a couple months ago and saying, you know, the arthritis in my knees is getting really bad. I'm in a lot of constant pain. Sometimes walking is difficult because it's painful. So she asked me if I'd be willing to go to an orthopedic, which I did, and they you know, I had a consultation with them. They did another set of x-rays because my last x-rays were a couple years old. And he said that he was going to recommend some injections in my knees of some type of a gel substance that would cushion my knees and put off the possibility of having to have surgery for, you know, a little while longer. And so I said, oh, I was more than willing to do that. And however, the insurance denied it. So he called and he asked me like he told me what his recommendations were and asked me what I wanted to do. And he said the best he could do right now was to give me steroid injections in my knees just to help with the pain and discomfort. And I told him I would think about it and get back to him and schedule that to be done. But I decided that I really don't want to mess with steroids too much because I've been told in the past that if I were to lose more weight, that it would put less stress on my joints, which I agree with. But I've been on antidepressants for a lot of years, and it makes it very difficult to maintain a healthy weight. I've tried. I'll go off the medication and I'm successful at losing weight, but do I want to be overweight and be able to function, or do I want to go off the meds and be batshit crazy basically because I need the medication to function? And there's a lot of people out there that won't take meds because of the stigma. Well, I need to be able to function, so I'll take the medication. And so the losing weight, it's easier said than done, you know. To be successful at losing weight, I pretty much have to give up the meds, and I'm not willing to do that. So anyway, I don't really want to mess with steroids because of the weight issue. And he said it was only a temporary fix. So he basically told me that I should consider talking with a surgeon. So that's where I'm at with that. But I can't, you know, I'm seeking disability for my mental and my physical health, and I keep getting denied. I've applied a couple times, I get denied. I've appealed it, I get denied. I'm working with an attorney's office. I had my hearing almost 4 months ago. This whole process has been going on for about 16 months now. I had my hearing almost 4 months ago, and I'm still waiting for a decision. And I get frustrated, and there's some people, oh, you're so nice. Not really. Not really. You wouldn't think so if you heard me, you know, discussing this issue with the lawyer and so forth. Because, you know, I tell them, I said, you know, why is this process so long? Which I understand it just is. But how do you think I'm surviving? I can't work. I mean, I tried working a few months ago, and it was next to impossible. I was in so much pain. When I wasn't working, I just couldn't do anything because I hurt all the time. And I'm like, how do you guys think I'm surviving? If I can't work, how am I living? Like right now, I have zero income. The past year or so that I haven't been working, they're like, how have you been making ends meet? The stimuluses, I was on unemployment for a short amount of time. At one point I had an income tax return from the last time I worked. That's how I've been surviving. And that has dried up. So if you guys could make a decision, I'd really appreciate it. And I'm to the point that if I don't hear something soon, I'm going to have no choice but to go back to work. Which I don't know how I'm going to do that, because earlier today I took a walk to get out of the house to hope that it improved my mood, and my knees are on fire right now, you know. So if I can't even go for a walk, not even half a mile, without my knees being on fire, how am I going to work all day? And I'm not saying this to get any kind of pity. I'm just trying to explain to you, like, I suffer from depression anyway, and then when you have financial strains put on top of it and you're in physical pain all the time, it really is hard to pull yourself out of that. And I try. You know, a lot of people think, oh, she's so funny. Yeah, because that's how I deal with humor. I'm like, you get a laugh or you're going to cry, you know. And it's hard, because sometimes when people are depressed, they're afraid to talk to somebody. I mentioned in my video on mental health about reaching out to people, but it's difficult because everybody's living their own life and doing their own thing, and they've got their own responsibilities. And for myself anyway, I hate to, because I always feel like I'm bothering somebody. You know, they're busy doing what they have to do. Everybody goes through their own stuff. I don't want to add to it. So and I'm sure if I am feeling this way, a lot of other people do too. And like I said, I'm not even sure why I got on here and jumped on here to do this video, because I was like, I don't even want to talk to anybody, you know, and probably nobody really cares anyway. But I guess it's just to if there's anybody else out there that's suffering, you know, I'm sure you can relate, and you know, and if you're not suffering, maybe it kind of lets you know what other people go through when they are, like how they feel and why they don't. Like everyone's like, oh, they were having a hard time, why didn't they reach out? Well, I'm explaining why people that don't reach out when they're depressed, because we don't want to be a bother, you know. We already feel bad enough as it is, and to think that we're being an inconvenience to somebody else on top of it, for me anyway, I'd rather not, you know. So that's why a lot of people suffer in silence. And I don't know, some people are like, you know, people suffer from depression, they're hospitalized, they commit suicide, they do extreme behaviors, and people are like, oh, well, I never knew. Well, I'm kind of explaining to you why you never knew, because nobody wants to be the downer and stuff like that. So a lot of people do suffer in silence and they don't say anything, because who wants to show that side of themselves? Like I said, I really didn't even want to do this video in a way, because this is not the side of me I want to share with people, that I want people to see. But I don't want to come on here and pretend to be someone I'm not. My sister laughs because she's like, I have to laugh every time you do an introduction because you're so cheerful and stuff. And I laugh to myself because I know other sides of you. And I'm like, well, I'm not trying to scare people away as soon as I start a channel. You know, maybe that's too much for people. And like, I don't even know whether I want to continue the YouTube thing, because I struggle to am I even putting out content that anybody cares about? And I struggle to find things to do videos on. Like the whole makeup thing, I like makeup, and I did do a get ready with me. I kind of enjoyed it, but I'm not that great at makeup or anything like that, so I don't feel like I really fit into the niche of being a makeup channel, because I'm just learning and playing with it myself. And I really don't feel like I fit into the niche of an unboxer, because I don't do subscription boxes. I'm in a very bad financial situation where I struggle to know how I'm going to pay my rent from month to month. I sure don't have money to do you know, unboxings. My spending is minimum. The Dollar Tree and Walmart hauls and things like that, it's a struggle to come up with a few dollars to do a shopping trip. So, you know, that's not something that I can throw a lot of content out there. And like even the things like the Twisted Silver and different things like that, I do gift cards, I do ambassador programs, I do anything with points to earn a lot of that stuff, because I financially am not able to do that. So the luxuries that some people take for granted, I don't take for granted. I have to work hard to earn that stuff. It's not like they are very generous with points and stuff like that. So a lot goes into earning a little bit of something like that, to have a little bit of a luxury item for yourself. And I don't really fit into the niche entirely for crafting, because I have my hands in so many different things. I can't narrow it down to that I just do paper crafting or I just do crocheting. And I don't know, so it's like, I guess I'm trying to find my place in YouTube, and I have been getting a little discouraged, because I know that a lot of other creators struggle with this, that I feel like for every, you know, I get so excited when I get a few new subscribers. It's like a huge thing to me, because my channel's not even 100 yet. And it's exciting when you get a couple notifications that you have new subscribers. And I've heard other YouTubers complain about YouTube taking subscribers, and I feel like for every 3 or 4 I gain, they take back 1 or 2. And I don't know if it's like the algorithms with YouTube, or I don't know if it's, geez, am I really that boring, and you know, people really don't like my content, that they subscribe and they watch a couple videos and then they go back and unsubscribe. I don't know, you know. So I'm not even sure about the YouTube thing, because I don't know, like, if there's a spot for me. I'm not sure like how to narrow myself down, and it's like I kind of throw out there for people to leave suggestions if there's something you'd like seeing more than others, so I can find my niche. I don't know. And it's like, I don't even feel entirely bad about that, because not everybody is good at everything, and if it's not my thing, that's okay. But you don't know until you try. So I just thought I'd give it a try. A few people have encouraged me, you know, I think you'd be really good about being on YouTube. Your personality, you have something to offer. I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to stick with it a while longer, but if I can't find my place, or I'm really not putting out content that people like, you know, I'd rather maintain some pride and just step back, you know. So I don't know. I'm not sure how this is going to play out, and we'll see, you know. And it's like the whole thing going back to the depression and stuff like that. Where I live, the sun doesn't shine very much. As a matter of fact, I'm listening to the rain outside right now, and that definitely does not help your mood when you're already depressed and you look outside and it's gray all day, and then you get up the next day and you look outside and it's gray all day, and this goes on for like a week at a time. And my sister and my niece and I went somewhere the other day, and we were joking around because it was a sunny day, and I'm like, we're like, all three of us are joking about, oh my gosh, the sunshine, and we don't know how to act. It's like you start to feel like you're a vampire, like the sunlight, oh, we're burning. And that's kind of how it gets to be around here. I live in a town where it rains a lot. And my older son said one time that he would, if he ever moved anywhere else, he'd like to move to Seattle. And I said, hey, Zach, you know, it's up and coming for people your age, and it seems to be the place. And a lot of, you know, people your age really enjoy Seattle. I said, you'll be used to the rain. But, I don't know. It's just, battling depression is just really no joke. And I think people that don't suffer, or don't have anyone close to them that suffers, you really don't have an understanding. I just think people really don't grasp. Like I said, everybody has a bad day, everybody gets sad, but depression lasts much longer and is much more intense. And I do suffer from a mood disorder. I suffer from bipolar 2, where I have the mania and the depression. But the depression is definitely more intense and more long lasting, and it's just hard. I don't know how to explain it. It's hard when I like being a bubblier, more positive, friendly, funny person, and when you're in a bad place, it's hard to find any of that. And like I said, I was talking to my sister earlier. I'm like, I feel bad because I'm not coming up with content to post, and I know you had to be pretty consistent because of the algorithms, and people will lose interest in watching your videos if you're not somewhat consistent. I said, but it's hard to I mean, I do have ideas for content, but it's hard to get in front of a camera when you just hate everything and everybody. And so it's hard to be the person people want to see when you don't have it in you. I don't know, it's just, and I can be, for as nice of a person as I am, for as funny as I can be, as bubbly as I can be one miserable, just nasty person, you know. It's like I was having a conversation with my sister earlier today too about, you know, I think I'm getting too old and too jaded to work in customer service anymore, because on an average day, it's like I feel like asking people, what the hell is wrong with you, at least 50-60 times a day. I'm getting to the point where I just guess I'm getting old and miserable, because I think I'm burnt out on customer service and stuff. My sister said my YouTube introductions are my customer service personality. It's kind of true. It's like I've worked as a server before, and that's a challenge. you know, you got to be friendly, you got to be nice. Not that I don't like being friendly or nice, you know, generally I try to be until people push my buttons, but there are some days your feet are killing you, your back is killing you, you're just tired, and you got to keep smiling and being nice because you need those tips. And some people will push every button and try you to the max, and you still have to be as nice as possible because that's how you're surviving. And I think I'm just getting burnt out on that because I want to be nice when I want to be nice, not because I depend on an extra $5, you know. So yeah, it's difficult. And if you're in a bad spot, like if I'm having a week or so that I'm not in the best spot, I tell you that customer service personality is really hard to drag out of you, but it's survival, you know. And I don't know, I guess it is what it is, you know. And I know it'll pass, it always does. It's just trying to survive until it does pass, you know. And you know, just trying to keep pushing, because if you don't, you're just going to sink deeper into it, and it's difficult. It's difficult. So I do have some ideas for content for the next few videos, but I'm not sure how consistent or regular it's going to be, because I am trying to deal with what I'm dealing with. And I'm not going to come on here and be monotone and where it's a struggle for people to watch a video because there's no personality behind it. But when you're going through your stuff, it's really hard to bring that out. So I don't know, I just wanted to hop on here and just explain a little bit about why I'm not being consistent, and try to put out there what it's like, you know, to suffer with depression. It's like, it's not a choice by any means. Nobody chooses to feel this way, and nobody is doing something to somebody else because they're in a bad mood for what seems like forever. And I'm not looking for pity or anything like that, because that's a real blow to my pride, you know. My father always taught us that if you don't have a little bit of pride, you don't really have anything. And I've lived by that most of my life. There will be times that I'm really in need or really suffering, and I'll suffer before I ask. And now that my sons are adults and they're able to express things more as an adult to me, I know I've done a certain amount of damage with my kids growing up, because I felt like raising boys, I had to raise men, and they shouldn't show weakness or emotion, and that they should have a lot of pride. And I do think that they should have a lot of pride, but I also should have stepped back and said, you know, just because they're men doesn't mean they don't have feelings, and they shouldn't be able to express those. And I'm willing, you know, I'm mature enough to admit that I made, you know, some not so great judgments in raising my kids, but I also appreciate that they feel that they can tell me that now that they're adults. You know, I can't change it, but I can move forward and be more accommodating of their feelings on certain things. But like I said, my dad was military, he had the daughters, and just because we were daughters, we were not taught differently, that we should stand up for ourselves, be independent, have pride, be self-sufficient, have a backbone, you know. So even though I was a single mother raising sons, I still tried to instill that on my sons. You know, you're going to grow up to be men, you're going to have a backbone, you're going to be strong and prideful and stuff like that. But maybe I went to the opposite extreme. So, but like I said, you know, maybe you notice somebody's not doing well and stuff. Oh, but they didn't ask for help. Oh, they're not telling me that they're having a rough time. Well, sometimes pride's all you have left to hang on to, so that's why you don't ask for help, or you say that you're struggling, or whatever the situation may be. But anyway, I'm going to get off here because I've rambled long enough, and I didn't have any like specific purpose other than to explain why I haven't been consistent, and just to let anybody out there who's struggling know that I totally understand and you're not alone. And for anyone who deals with someone that suffers from depression, maybe I'm telling you something that they won't tell you. So, you know, I guess I'm going to tell myself, as well as anybody else out there that's dealing with the same thing, just hang in there. This too shall pass, and till it does, you know, do what you have to for yourself. At least that's what I try to do. You know, I whatever it may be, you know, get out those affirmations and read them, or TikTok. Go on TikTok. I mean, there's lots of hilarious stuff to watch, you know, whatever it takes to pull yourself out of the mood. And I'm not saying that anybody's wrong for being depressed or doing what they have to deal with it, but you know, do what you have to focus on yourself and make yourself feel better until it passes. So with that being said, like I said, I rambled long enough, and hopefully I didn't bore everybody to death if you're even still here. But if you got anything at all out of my video today, thumbs up, greatly appreciated. Hitting that subscribe and notification bell would really mean the world to me. I'm struggling to keep them subscriber numbers from slipping. I'm not even worried about them building at this point. Just stop taking them away, you know. And it's not about monetization or milestones. It's just an indicator to me whether people even have any interest in what I have to share. So feel free to leave a comment. You know, let me know if this is something you struggle with. Let me know if it helped hearing somebody else talk about what they're going through. Any feedback to me, you know, it helps me know whether to keep trudging along on the YouTube thing, or to just say, hey, I'll leave it to somebody else that knows what they're doing. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and keep being awesome. Bye.